Well, hello, good morning, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to those of you that are tuned in to the Trick and Jumping Lake of the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships. My name is Tony Lightfoot. I'm joined here with Troy Zollner. He's on the other lake. He'll be commentating for the slalom event, which you'll see on the other player. If you are on the USA Waterski YouTube presence, a big shout out to you for directing yourself over to that particular destination. And for those of you also tuning in via the Waterski Broadcasting Company's YouTube channel, a big shout out to you as well. All right, so here's our schedule so far as the Trick and Jump Lake is concerned. Men 6 to 11 trick, women 4 jump, and then men 6 to 11 jump. 90 participants. And we don't have too many women's 4 jumpers, but the balance of them is going to be the men in both the tricks and the jump events. So some exciting competition about to take place. I think all said and told, it's going to be about maybe 30, somewhere between 35 and 40 skiers that will be skiing on this second lake, which was dedicated to trick and jump. On the other lake, if you want to tune in on that other player or want to watch simultaneously, they have exactly 100 skiers, and they will be starting off with women's 7. So we've got a lot of skiing to come, and we'll return right after this. This is the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships. We'll return right after this.
Hello, Natalia Bernikava here, multiple world champion, world record holder, introducing the new Edge trick binding. 3D printed plate creates for more control and support on the water. Plus this binding is very unique because we have 2 options. Option 1 with toe clamp and heel clamp dedicated specifically for hands. Option 2 with the releasable plate could be used for hands and toes, and the binding suits for all levels. For the upcoming season, it's time to get on edge.
The Liquid Edge offers sales and service on Mastercraft and Nautique boats. We are located on our own private 35-acre ski lake in Farmer City, Illinois. Our fully stocked pro shop accommodates the needs of every 3, 2, or single event skier. We carry a wide variety of ski brands including HO, Syndicate, D3, Radar, and Connolly. We hope you're enjoying their webcast and come visit us soon.
All right then, and good morning, one and all, to all of you out there in the skiing world. This is the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships. You are tuned in to the webcast player, which will provide coverage of the tricks and the jumping events for today. My name is Tony Lightfoot. I think you figured that one out already if the graphic doesn't exactly help you out too much. But here is our menu of events today. We've got the men's 6 to 11 trick, women's 4 jump, men's 6 to 11 jump as well. 90 participants, 6 of them women, and the balance of them being male competitors. And we've got cloudy skies, partially cloudy skies, right here at the Water's Edge Estate in Wilmington, Illinois. Looks like we got our first men's 6 skier about to take to the water, if we can get confirmation on the identity of our first skier. According to our running order, it should be John Wilkins. And then we'll move along with Brian Mercer, then Bob Hamilton, Alvin, Neff, Stephen Jones, and the balance of the skiers from there. According to this list, there should be 17 skiers. 17 skiers are present on this list for the men's 6 tricks competition, and the format of the tricks event is actually quite simple. Each skier gets 2 20-second passes in which to produce as many scoring tricks as possible. Each trick has a predetermined point value, and if you do those tricks cleanly, you'll get scored 4 marks for each trick. And not so clean trick will get scored 0. And the skier with the total at the end of after 2 20-second passes is declared the winner. Now, I will introduce you to some of the other eccentricities that go along with the tricks event, including the choice of boat. We have a choice of 3 boats. We've got the Correct Craft Nautique, we've got the Malibu TXI, and we've got the Mastercraft Pro Star. And our first skier, John Wilkins, will be taken to the water, and rather unusually these days, we've got a 2-ski tricker approaching the course. So, the identity should be John Wilkins. Coming in, we'll get confirmation of that shortly, I hope, and a couple of side slides. Yes, it is John Wilkins. There we go, side slides, and these are scoring tricks now. Look at him go. He's going to do a surface 360, I fancy. He's gone through his side slides and 180s. There you go. To the back, to the 360s all the way around. He's trying to gonna go for the surface 7 here. Boom. A reverse surface 7. Now he's going to go for a 5 back and a 5 back reverse. And they're all pretty decent tricks there, I fancy. So there we go. That is John Wilkins. I think he is well out of time. I think by the time he got to those 540-degree spins, he had expended the 20 seconds that he had at his disposal. But looking good in the meantime.
Looks like we have a total of 100 slalom poles on the running order for today. Expected showing, but not a huge amount, so it should be a good day. In the Midwest, we got high humidity, so you never know what the weather's going to bring. Hopefully, Mother Nature is on our side throughout the week, but there could be some chances of spotty showers and storms. Wind up and down.
All right, then. So we've got John Wilkins. He'll be coming back for his second 20-second pass. Our second skier, Brian Mercer, is getting ready to take to the water anytime now. I'm going to try and give you a little bit more of an indication as to what this trick skiing event is all about via the point values. As John Wilkins was actually on 2 skis, the point values ranged all the way up to 100 to 60 points so far as the 720-degree turn was concerned on the surface. Looks like he's going to go with 2 skis again, so he doesn't have too many options beyond the surface tricks. But there we go. He's going to go backwards, and I think from this point he's going to try a 5 front on the surface. No, he's going to go for back-to-backs. And back-to-backs on the surface account for 40 points apiece. He's trying to hit the wakes and trying to be aggressive there. He's doing well on those two skis. Oh, and just kind of running out of steam a little bit towards the end. So the person who has the honor this year at the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships of being first out in the water, John Wilkins, effectively skiing 2 stand-up runs, even though he's in the water after the second one, but I think he's gone past 20 seconds by the time he got to that point anyway. He tried that wake back there, you see on the instant replay, as John Wilkins swims into shore in real time now. Ooh, almost going one ski there for a moment. And actually lost his grip on the handle with one of those surface turns. So decent skiing there from John Wilkins. All right then, 2-ski tricking continues to be alive and well in men's 6 with our next competitor. This should be Brian Mercer. We'll confirm the identity in a moment with our lower third graphic. But Brian Mercer. Yep, it is Brian Mercer. There, and we'll look at this pass. Okay, Brian. Oh, and going for the surface back, and unfortunately not going particularly well with that one. Here comes Brian Mercer on the instant replay. He got the 180 to the back, but unfortunately couldn't really get the spin to the front. Now, obviously the bad news is that he fell, but the relatively good news is the fact that he can actually come back and repeat that pass. Now, being a 2-ski tricker and having not an awful lot of options so far as tricks that you could actually do with 2 skis, he can actually come back, repeat the pass, and probably not suffer too harshly as a consequence. So there we go. I'm Tony Lightfoot right here. Commentating on the other lake is Troy Zollner. He'll give you a little bit of a wave. There you go. As he's announcing the slalom coverage on the other webcast player. You're listening to me and watching me, hopefully simultaneously, on the tricks and jump lake. So, on the slalom lake, it's Christina Smart. On the tricks lake, it's Brian Mercer from the Eastern region, whose average this season, so far as points are concerned, is 790 points. So he's no slouch on the 2 skis. But actually, he's going to transition to 1 ski for the next pass.
Making our way through the gates in round 1, heading over to 2. Open that arm out, reaching around 3. Get off the leader right now. Nice working pass over there on the slalom lake. Brian's heading downhill. Probably take a spin down at the far end of the lake.
All right, so Brian Mercer working his way out to the lake, and he'll get his next pass underway very, very soon. All right, then, here comes Brian Mercer.
Hey, Emily.
All right, here comes Brian Mercer coming in on his second and final 22nd pass. Let's see what he can do with 1 ski. He's got his side slides under his belt. He's racking up the points all the time, and the 1-ski tricks do tend to score more points than their 2-ski counterparts. averaging 790 points. I don't think he'll get close to that even with this effort on the second and final 22nd pass with one ski. But he's all over the show as he gets towards the end of 20 seconds. And that was Brian Mercer. We'll have a look at the instant replay. Brian Mercer, who comes to us out of the Eastern region. The Eastern region basically encompasses every state north of North Carolina and to the east of Ohio, essentially. Of course, you can find out more information about a regional structure within the American Waterski Association by going to usawaterski.org. Of which some of you are watching this webcast from. We certainly appreciate your participation in this. We've got two simultaneous webcasts. We've got one on Lake 1, which Troy Zollner is announcing for on slalom. And then you have me on Lake 2 announcing for tricks and jump. Our next competitor, also from the Eastern region and averaging a little over 800 points coming into this competition, is Bob Hamilton. All right, so electing to go with the Malibu TXI, and we certainly want to put on record our thanks and appreciation to all of our boat vendors, whether it be Malibu, Mastercraft, or Correct Craft, for providing us with the essential tools for bringing the skiers into the course and competing in the national championships. Here we go. This is Bob Hamilton in men's 6, our third competitor out. We'll try and get the trick scores available to you as quickly as possible, but there is an online resource for those of you that want to get your results a little bit sooner that you can put on a tab next to the webcast, and that is waterskiresults.com. Waterskiresults.com will give you that information once we have it. There is Bob Hamilton on one ski going through his tricks. Coming up a little bit short on that wake front, but not looking too badly up to that point. And I would even surmise that even though we've only seen one pass from Bob Hamilton, the tricks that he produced, all of them on one ski, are probably enough to give him a very, very slight lead right now. So not looking too bad. Not looking too bad there for Bob Hamilton. All right, then. So looking at Bob Hamilton.
Nice opening pass there for Evelyn Duval. Pass number 1.
All right, here we go. This is Bob Hamilton. He's electing to go with toe tricks. Now this is going to bump up his points if he can get through this run of toes. He did the back and the front. Now he's trying to get the reverse toe slide, which he gets. He's not the reverse back. He's actually going to go with the toe wake back and toe wake front. Oh, and just starting to fall out the back, and it's extremely hard to recover when that thing cascades. But that's Bob Hamilton, and I would surmise that even though he fell on the second pass of toe tricks, that he has enough scoring tricks that were of higher point value up to that time, enough to take the lead at this point in the proceedings. We're on the third skier in men's 6 tricks. That is Bob Hamilton out of the Eastern region. And just falling out the back there and not looking too bad there on that D3 trick ski. All right, our next competitor to take to the water and electing to go, I think, with the Malibu TXI and electing to go with some additional weight in the boat. It is going to be Alvin Neff. So they're about ready to take to the water with the Goode trick ski, the modified version of the MK1, of which Martin Coleman, the current European trick champion, the current European overall champion, I beg your pardon, and trick champion, is having so much success on. And those skis are actually available in a number of different sizes. Obviously, if you go longer with the trick ski, the width is proportionally wider too. So for those skiers that are struggling to trick and need a little bit more surface area to work with, then you should consider riding or at least giving the Goode trick ski a try. And those of you that are actually relatively close to the venue here, we've got a Goode stand in the vendor's tent, and they'll tell you all about the new Goode MK1 trick ski, as well as their full range of slalom skis and other associated products, courtesy of Goode Ski Technologies. That is Alvin Neff in the water, and in a few moments he will be out of the water, heading towards the trick course for his first of 2 20-second passes. Well, we've got a little bit of a flotilla there. We've got a Mastercraft. We've got a Nautique, and the active boat is the Malibu. And that boat is going to bring in Alvin Neff, who I believe comes to us out of the great state of Oklahoma in the South Central region.
Good one here, got a pretty good one. Gets the 2. Got slack line, she hangs on to it, but
here comes Alvin Neff approaching pass number 1, taking a rather slow speed coming into the course on that trick ski, and that greater surface area allows skiers to actually be able to do that, because otherwise with a conventional trick ski with the reduced surface area, the boat speed is going to have to be a lot higher to keep the skier on top of the water. Here we go. This is Alvin Neff. Oh, look at this. Not looking bad at all. That was the wake back and wake front, a couple of sides at the end, just slow as she goes. And we'll probably have a little bit of time to wave. He effectively got through all of those tricks in about 17 seconds. There's the first one. That's the 180 to the back. Here's the reverse. You can do up to 4 180s, 2 in the regular direction and 2 in the reverse direction. The reverse direction is the opposite rotation. There is those are the surface 360s. The wake back, in which the ski must get air between the ski and the water itself. I think he did that with the 180 front to the back, not so much with the back to the front. The judges are going to be quite strict with that here at the National Championships, the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships here at Water's Edge.
here at the Goode 2021 National Championships. So back to women's 6 slalom on the slalom lake. 30 miles.
So here we go with Alvin Neff, continuing on with trick and jump coverage.
30 miles per hour, 15 off. Ooh, a little break at the waist coming through the gate.
And going down and trying to do a few more surface tricks, but unfortunately didn't quite succeed for him in that regard. He got the 180 to the back. He'd already scored one of those. You can't repeat a trick. He did that 180 to the back more or less as a setup or a positional trick. So that was a positional back. He wasn't hoping to score with that one, but he tried the surface back-to-back and just losing his bearings there. So that's Alvin Neff. I would probably assume he'll be about second or third right now, even before we get the official scores in. Bob Hamilton, the skier prior, actually did some toe tricks on the second pass, which will actually score a great deal more points. So we've got Stephen Jones, another skier out of the Eastern region. They are coming in hot, guys. And Stephen Jones, we'll see what he's got.
To get confirmation on who this is, I believe this is Stephen Jones heading out on the water for his trick pass.
Here we go. Stands on the trick ski a little bit back. Let's see if he continues to stay up on top of the water after 20 seconds of skiing in tricks. Here comes Stephen Jones. A couple of side slides to get things motoring. 180s to the back. There we go, surface 360. Oh, nails that one. And the reverse surface 360. Does he go for the wake tricks? No, he doesn't. He goes for the 5 back on the surface. He goes for the wake back-to-back, and unfortunately coming up a little bit under-rotated with that trick, but he went for the height, just couldn't ride out that particular move. So Stephen Jones, surface tricks looked pretty impeccable, keeping his shoulders over his knees over his toes. Looked down a little bit, but that's no big deal breaker, at least for these tricks. Wake back-to-back, and he cased the top of the wake, and he just couldn't get much else going beyond that, I'm afraid. So, decent skiing there from Stephen Jones as we look at the instant replay presented by Zero Off. So, our instant replays on both lakes being provided by Zero Off. We thank those guys very much. The world leader in cruise control. And we also would like to give a big shout out to the Liquid Edge for their participation in providing us the webcasting coverage for both lakes here at the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships.
He's going to get a score of 4 at Weiser, 16 meters. So a nice job of skiing for Lisa. All right, over on the trick lake, passing that orange buoy, Stephen Jones now coming in for pass 2.
All right, here comes Stephen Jones, pass number 2. Already got one trick away, the wake backs and the wake fronts. Oh, nicely done. Now, what has he got left? He's got a few options that he can entertain, but he's going to go with the surface back-to-backs. Let's see what he's got here. He's going to try a surface 5 back. Oh, surface 5 front, and unfortunately running out of steam a little bit here. So that is Stephen Jones. And I think it's going to be a little bit tight between Stephen Jones and Bob Hamilton as to who takes the lead at this point. Stephen Jones actually came into this event as our first competitor to average over 1,000 points, elected to ski with the Mastercraft towboat in this tricking event. Mastercraft, one of our 3 boat companies, and they actually just recently had their ballast system approved, which puts 150 pounds of additional weight in the boat. And the skiers in this event, those that elect to go with the Mastercraft, have 2 options. Unweighted configuration, of which there is no additional weight to put in the boat, or up to 150 pounds in the weighted option. So here we go. We're seeing Stephen Jones again. Looking very, very smooth, very, very nice indeed on the instant replay.
on Lake 2. He's announcing the trick event. That lake is running.
All right, here comes Brian Adriance. He's skiing behind the correct craft, and we're taking a closer look at him from the boat. It's a wake back-to-back. Wrap to hand, now hand to wrap. Look at him go. He's going to go for the line tricks. First time we've seen these today in men's 6. He's going to go for the line back, wake line back. Good looking sequence, and a skier who comes into this event with an average of 1,473 points, just a shade under 1,500. Not looking too bad at this point in the proceedings.
Going around 4-ball, heading over to 5 on her D3 ski. One of our sponsors here for the event.
Good solid effort. I love his position there with the regular hand back there to land that the first wake back-to-back in his sequence. And just stepping leg a little bit out of control there with the surface tricks, but he got it back under control with the wake line tricks. Foot in the back binding, 20 seconds. Successfully completed and not looking too bad for the most part. Checking back on the dock side, we've got a Malibu and we've got a Nautique on standby for our next competitors. Actually, the correct craft, I beg your pardon, the correct craft is on the water right now with Brian Adriance.
Focus going. Taking her deep breaths.
Okay, so the Nautique by correct craft on the waters of the world since 1923. Here we go. This is Brian Adriance.
But in the meantime, on the water, coming around.
Not looking bad. Continuing to roll through his toe tricks, toe back and toe front. Trying to keep control of that toe foot. Absolutely critical, and almost lost it there with that toe wake front. He goes for the toe reverse, but leaning way too far away and didn't have full control over the line in the process of performing that trick, which was the contributing factor behind his fall. Trying to do a little bit of de-weighting of that ski. Looking at the instant replay here. But not looking too bad for the most part. Just got that foot getting away from him there on the toe wake front. And just trying to settle down and get as far as the reverse toe back. But I think he was relieved to get that far, if we're being honest. So there we go, Brian Adriance. So let's have a look at the instant replay once again before we bring in our next competitor, who should be Doug Knutson from the Eastern region. And half a dozen skiers are all from the Eastern region, so I don't know what it is about skiers in men's 6. So men's 6, this is a division for skiers aged between 60 and 64. Doug Knutson coming in. There we go. 180 to the back, reverse 180 to the back and to the front. So looking good with the surface back-to-back reverse. Side slides. Does he have anything more? Line back, line front. Yeah, and there you go. That should do it on pass number 1. I don't know whether he has anything more on pass number 2, but I'll tell you what, he's not looking too bad. He had side slides and 180s all the way through, so you count a side slide, which is 40 points. You count the 180s back to front, 60 points apiece. So you're already at about 300 points by the time you get to that mark. The line back, step over is 110 points apiece. So I would say by the time he got to the end, he was probably a little bit shy of about 600 points on pass number 1. But the Bulk of his tricks must obviously come from toe tricks because he comes in this event with an average of a little under 1,500 points. And that is Doug Knutson there. Michael Keefe getting ready to take to the water. He'll be going behind the same boat, the correct peak. All right, so here we go, folks. Doug Knutson, pass number 2, electing to go at 18 mile an hour. And that is relatively quick. I mean, I know that there are plenty of skiers in the pro level who will trick towards 20 mile an hour. Most of them go at about 19 and a half. 18 mile an hour, look at him go. He's positioned himself for the wake back-to-back. Not looking too bad there from hand to wrap. Does he go for the wake back? Wake front. Oh, out of control there with the reverse wake front. And I think he had a few more tricks to go after that, but it's safe to say that it's going to be about 1,200. Or somewhere between 1,000, 1,200 points will be going Doug Knutson's way. But it's good to see him out there on the water representing the eastern region. The first of about half a dozen skiers that will be taken to water next. And this is men's 6, a division that encompasses men ages between 60 and 64. All right then, so we've got Michael Keefe on the water from the eastern region, going with the Waco. Unfortunately, not getting much past that with the surface turns. Look at him go with the and just hitching his pull there a little bit with the reverse surface 360. My apologies for not catching him a little bit earlier, but the instant replay provided to us by Zero Off kind of helped save us a little bit there in that respect. But a good effort, mind you, from Michael Keefe, our second skier in this batch of half a dozen from the eastern region, coming into this event with an average of a little over 1,700 points and electing to go with the Nautique towboat. Now he's going to get picked up and being brought to the far island. Now these lakes run north and south, so the skiers actually start from the northern extreme of the lake and then head towards the south on the far extreme of this lake. Or is that the other way around? So, looking at the sun, rises in the east, sets in the west. So they actually ski from south to north. My apologies. So,
Did you fill out a form for him? Okay, well, have him fill out the form, and then I'll give you a back code. Just make sure you grab the right one.
All right, then. So, coming in behind that beautifully appointed Nautique towboat in the Gold Flake, especially for these championships. This is Michael Keefe. Tow tricks he elected to go with next. He could have actually gone with a repeat of pass number 1 if that would have yielded more tricks for him. But he decides to go with the toe back and toe front, line back and line front. Look at him go. Wake line back. Oh, and it just was not a particularly good day for him to go out there and trick. But we'll see what the point score is going to be for him after this effort. Michael Keith, who came into this event with an average of 1,767 points. And we are at about the 8th skier in. We're not quite at the halfway point of our trick skiers. That will come with our next skier. That will be Tim Mower.
We all know that anxiety sometimes eats us up, causes issues when it shouldn't. She's down around 5-ball there with 4.5 at 28 off.
So, a little bit of cloud out there on this venue. But that does take the sting out of the sunshine a little bit, and that will help with fatigue and what have you on both the slalom and the tricks lake. For those of you that are on the tricks lake coverage, you are most certainly welcome. We've also got simultaneous coverage on the slalom lake. So those of you that have a laptop or a PC can actually open up separate tabs and have slalom on one tab and trick on the other. And that will be the case for the remainder of the national championships, except for the 2021 Morley US Open of water skiing. And that will take place on Friday as part of the Waterski Pro Tour.
He's out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. So another great Wisconsin skier on the
Okay, here comes Tim Mower. Electing to go with toe tricks first and not exactly putting himself in the best of positions. He's past the red buoy. Oh, my word. And our first skier to go down on the initial trick, that is Tim Mower. And he's got a little bit of thinking to do here, whether he wants to go in as a repeat on that first pass with toe tricks or whether he favors another strategy by going in with handle tricks on the second pass. And that happens too often, folks. So there we go, falling on that first trick, and he wasn't exactly Mr. Cheerful as a result of that one.
For a 32 off headwind, knowing that she's got to get part of 3 if she wants to be on that one ball sitting amongst the leader, 2 at 32 off.
All right, before we bring in our next competitor, we'll break off for a little bit and show you these messages. You are watching the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships right here from Water's Edge in Wilmington, Illinois.
Experience this.
All right, we're back on. We've got Tim Mower about to take to the water on his second and final 22nd pass. We are exactly halfway through the men's 6th division of tricking.
When they told me to, I almost quit.
On dockside there with Gabe, our dock starter. Here comes Tim Mower. Looking all right. Approaching the course, setting the boat speed. Looking okay for the first few tricks. Certainly a lot better than his first pass of toe tricks, where he fell on the toe wake back. There we go, wake back to back. Now he's starting to pile on the points here. Whether it'll be enough for him to take the lead, and unfortunately will not get much beyond that line back. He was wanting to go with the wake line front from inside the wake to out. Rather unconventional way of doing that. And here we see him on the 0 off instant replay, looking okay for the most part. You almost couldn't tell that he fell a few moments prior with the opening pass. But there with the back-to-back, just trying to hold that together and hold it well, and not looking bad at all. But wasn't actually going for the wake on that one, was just actually hoping to step to the front and step in full leg on that one, which is not exactly the most advisable thing to do. Here comes James McClure from the Eastern region coming into this event, our first competitor coming into this event with an average better than 2,000 points. And as we go further and further down this list, the higher ranked skiers will present themselves. Here comes James McClure. Boom. Waco, which is a 360-degree spin front to front with the ski leaving the top of the wake with air between the ski and the water. There we go, wake back to back. There's a wake back, there's a wake front, there's the reverse wake back, reverse wake front. About 20 seconds should expire around about there, just in time for him to flip a couple of side slides, one in each direction. 40 points for those side slides, but the big bulk of his points will come for the tricks that came to us prior to that end.
He's on a good slalom ski. 0 off replay showing us. He did get a little stretched out there through the gates, but not enough to hold her back. Wearing a Team USA jacket. Making her way with a good slalom ski spot in the good Waterski Nationals, hoping that gives her some added benefit.
But not looking too bad for James McClure, having a look on that particular run. All right, here we go. Second pass for James McClure with toe tricks. Going with the toe sides first. Now he's going to hit the wake there with the toe wake back and toe wake front, slide down the wake. Now he's going to go for the line tricks here, setting himself up, trying to stay focused. Going for the wake line front. There was certainly a deliberate attempt to hit the wake going backwards to try and execute that wake line front.
She just got on the rear of that slalom ski with some slack coming out of one ball, and that put her down course from the start. And she also got stretched out and taking a digger across the wakes. But it's okay.
But not looking too bad there for James McClure. Here's the fall. Ooh, just trapped his legs on the line. Trapped his standing, well, it's actually a stepping leg on the line. And as we round off that instant replay, we're going to go with our next skier. Next skier should be Noel Horton, who was marginally better on average as we look on the inside of the TWBC master control. There's Vince on the near computer, and Kelvin dealing with the Lake One slalom event on the other switching computer.
Things are tight.
Junior development, which is, as we know, is the future of our sport. So, big, high, and often on that junior development arc.
All right, so here we go. This now is Joel Norton, our 11th skier out in this event. Waco to get things up and running. Here comes the reverse Waco. Nails that one too. Does he go for the backs, the wake backs? Surface tricks there. Surface back to back. Wake back to back. Does he do the reverse? Yes, he does. Staying on top of the water, surface O. Surface O should have enough for maybe a wake 5 front, which he does, and unfortunately at about the 22nd point, unable to get through that pass without the fall. But I tell you what, rocking and jocking on that particular run, looking very, very smooth for the most part. But looking at him again, Joel Norton. It's actually David Allen, as a matter of fact. And David Allen, big shout out to him. Joel Norton unable to make these championships. So David Allen is actually responsible for creating the scoring program that is used in the United States for scoring water ski tournaments. It's called Wistims for Windows. It's actually based upon the original programming from Dave Clark, and it was freshly updated several seasons ago to work with the Windows operating system. And not only does it score water ski tournaments, but it also provides live water ski results when they become available by going to waterskiresults.com. Waterskiresults.com, for those of you wanting to keep a close eye on the scores coming through in both the tricks and the slalom event, which is being held concurrently on the other lake in the women's 6th division. You can tune in to the other player to watch that coverage. But if you're still interested in tricking and jumping, you're going to stay with this coverage right here as we see Dave Allen come into the course for the second and final 22nd pass. This will consist of toe tricks. The toe back and toe front, toe side reverse, just slow as she goes. There we go. Toe wake back, toe wake front. This is Dave Allen. There is a surface back, surface line back, surface line front, wake line back coming right. Oh, and overcooking it there on the landing, but he got the majority of the tricks that he wanted to. So good effort there from Dave Allen. He may be a little bit disappointed, but certainly thank him for his participation not only in these national championships as a skiing athlete, but also for his immense contribution to the sport of tournament water skiing via his creation of Wistims for Windows. So that's what we got going on.
Got 13 on the running order for women's 7, but not to jump ahead of ourselves, because we got 2 left in this women's 6.
Very interesting. Evelyn's going out our second here off the dot. And taking the pace, going 13-meter line, 32 off.
Okay, we've already got people checking in from Denmark.
Wow. Yep, apparently I'm trying to get some information here from Troy Zollner, who's the actual announcer for the slalom event. We're getting viewers from as far afield as Denmark watching in. This is the greatest show of water skiing on earth. This is the 79th Goode Water Ski National Championships, and on the water right now is Mike Leferle. Hopefully I'll get that right. And he comes to us out of the Midwest from Illinois. We figured that out because he has the state outline of Illinois on his vest. And not looking too bad for the most part. So there we go. So, and my apologies already for some of you folks. I think they got misidentified as being skiers from a certain region. Well, I was looking through the wrong column on this list, and they come into, some competitors come into this event having achieved L or E class. And that's what I was confusing it with, so my apologies straight away there. Mike Leferle, who comes to us out of Illinois. Our first skier to get 2,300 points more on average.
Coming in for her second pass.
once and a half. You have to go through it.
I think the wind has let up very slightly once again.
Mr. Van Treese, and they'll be coming back to the dock and picking you up down there. That's it, man. The only thing is, I love this. I even like what the cameras look like. It's got a third. That's the
All right, so just trying to calm things down a little bit there. We've got Stephen Miller about to take to the water. Not that Steve Miller. I do love the Steve Miller band on occasion. There we go. Leferle, Mike Leferle from Illinois, the home state of the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships. Over the wake, nicely done, just keeping things in check. As long as he keeps that toe foot close to his standing leg, he's going to have the best control possible. But unfortunately, moving that toe foot a little bit too much into his reverse toe back doesn't exactly help matters there, but he should be among the top skiers towards the podium as he made it through his opening pass decently. And he got more of his toe tricks. He got a better variety of them for the most part. But not looking too bad there up to the time that he fell. And that is Mike Leferle from Illinois.
Got to have a good one ball here for Carol. She's around 2. She's making her way over to 3. She's got part of the around 3. She's on her way to 4. Stretched out 4. Still able to get around 4. Pull along to 5. She's around 5. Unexpected over to 6.
All right, some exciting action on the slalom event and also on the tricking event as well. Now we're getting towards our big hitter, Stephen Miller in men 6, qualifying into this event in the classification of L with 2,300 points. Marginally better than Mike Leferle in that respect. But let's see what he can do. He's going to come in, wrapped in for a wake line O, 360-degree turn off the top of the wake with a step thrown in the middle just for good measure. Here comes Steve Miller. Oh, look at this. Working his way through, and despite the fact that he has a knee brace on the back part of the, on his back foot, as it were, but looking very, very good there. Very, very steady for the most part. Can't fault him for this effort. Oh, almost went down on that wake line back, but controls it exquisitely well there with the step tricks, keeping the line very close to your body. That's how you achieve control on one ski and doing the kind of tricks that he performed right there. Beautifully executed.
Impressive desire there.
Now, showing the lead right now. Earl Berkeley doing a very impressive job out there with Keller coming up next.
All right, so not too bad for Steve Miller. We're down to our last 4 skiers in men's 6. Now, because of the nature of the tricks event, we won't really have a definitive result anytime soon. The tricks have to be tabulated. They have to. The judges are going to be scoring these tricks retroactively. In other words, the video coverage that you're seeing is actually going to be recorded, and then our judges will look at them after the fact rather than live. So that does kind of delay things a little bit, but it does ensure quality in officiating. Here we go. This is Steve Miller. A little bit of about a 3-second delay before he got that foot out of the toe hold. But he more than makes up for that delay. There we go. Look at that hand-to-hand Waco to stomp that pass. 2 stand-up runs. Steve Miller absolutely setting the men's 6 tricking event alight with his performances out there. This is the age category of skiers aged between 60 and 64. So imagine being able to do this at that kind of age. So here we go. We're just looking once again at Stephen Miller. Waco at the end, beautifully executed pass. No worries there. All right there, Jeff Van Treese should be our next competitor. So here we go, Jeff Van Treese. He comes to us out of the great state of Ohio. Van Wert, Ohio specifically, part of a very large skiing family. There we go, that is Jeff Van Treese there with the opening tricks. Come on, Jeff, there we go. Side and side reverse, back and front. Keeping full control of that toe foot. Oh, that's the toe reverse. First time we've seen that completed. Now he's going to throw in the toe back to back and reverse. Yeah, there you go. Good clap of the hands there at the end. Nails that pass shut, and that takes a little bit of pressure off his shoulders, because the easier tricks that he will perform are to come on the second and final 20-second pass, and that is the hands. The generally acknowledged as the harder tricks to perform were the toe tricks on the first of 2 20-second passes, and you just see his toe foot there. I mean, he just keeps that toe foot very, very close to his standing leg, and when you achieve that level of control, anything is possible. So there you go. All right, so back at commentary control, this is me, Tony Lightfoot. On the other side, we've got Troy Zollner, who is announcing the slalom event. On the slalom lake, those of you that are switching between coverages right now on separate tabs, you'll see Joy Kelly slaloming right now. For those of you that are still monitoring the situation with the tricking lake on men's 6, we've got Jeff Van Treese, who comes into this event as our third-seeded competitor, tricking over 2,300 points. Okay, Jeff Van Treese, I think probably setting the speed at around about 18 mile an hour. Not looking to go too much higher than that. There we go. That's the Waco to get things up and running. There, keeping the handle close to his body, much like the closeness that he had with the handle to his standing foot in toe tricks. Same concept. If you keep control of the handle, then you've got a better chance of staying up. As he does, he just about manages to get out of that tricky situation with that wake line back and wake line front, and standing up on both passes, but only just on that second one there for Jeff Van Treese. And here on this instant replay provided by Zero Off, you see he looked very much in control, especially with the back-to-back from wrap to hand. Always a more difficult option to throw that trick. But here we go. There's the line back and line front. Sets himself up for the wake line back. Getting the height and just trying to maintain his composure long enough for the wake line front, and he did that, and he stops both passes.
Got your little go bag. I love it.
Am I the next mountain guy?
Yes. Get ready.
I go ahead and put this
Yeah,
over there.
yeah.
Look at it.
What an impressive event to start out this championships with.
That's right.
You don't get a lot of really good coffee if every event's going to be like this. 5-hour energies may not be needed in the afternoon. That's one exciting event to get things going.
12 international title. Already real quick, Chris
You're looking at Joy Troy Kelly, first place. Carol Brooks, second. Evelyn Duvall.
All right, then. So, Mitch Grah now coming to us out of the great state of Texas. Boom, there we go. Starting up with a step sequence, not looking too bad. A skier that's represented the United States of America on the senior teams with great distinction. And not looking too bad on that opening pass. We're taking a look at the instant replay with toe tricks. There's the toe back and toe front, just holding things nice and steady. Toe wake back and toe wake front. Couple of toes, well, one toe side, not electing to go with for the reverse, but going into his little step sequence. This is pretty much a standard way of getting through the step tricks. The wake line front, because it's not strictly a reverse trick, can actually be placed anywhere within the pass in respect to the wake line back. So that's why that step sequence works. Where you do a wake line back, then line front, line back, and then wake line front. So a little bit delving into the eccentricities that exist with the tricks event. As we get ready for our second seeded men's six skier, Mitch Grah, to come back into the course. Our top seeded skier with a seeding value of a little over 3,100 points is Paul Hutchings. He'll be our last skier out in men's six. I don't know what happened there. He's on dockside and he just plain flat out just fell in the water. Not exactly the most auspicious of preparations coming in, but hopefully he's okay. Here we go. There we go with some surface turns. There's Mitch Grah just really up in the tempo. Continuing to roll from one end of the... Oh, no! And he let go of the handle. We just didn't pass it hand to hand very cleanly, and the handle getting away from him. Mitch Grah not only focusing on the tricking event itself, but also on its implications so far as the overall competition is concerned. Certainly a better than above average jumper, but he definitely does not want to lose any points in the tricks event, or at least limit the losses there. And there you go, and just loosen his handle. So, looks like Paul Hutchins there getting ready, or at least trying to.
No, I can't sit, man. Sorry.
Fell off the end of the boat and hobbling around a little bit. I don't know if he's actually going to be able to ski, so we'll check that out in a moment. But you're watching the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships, and we'll return right after this.
Sports Evolution at USA Waterski and Wake Sports Foundation Hall of Fame in Central Florida's Polk County. From the pioneers of the sport to the stars of today, all 9 disciplines are honored. It's the most comprehensive and fun-filled tribute to the people and the sport we love. Located inside the Central Florida Visitor Information Center in Davenport, Florida, the Hall of Fame is open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. 7 days a week.
All right then, folks, we are back on with our continuing coverage of the event. John Knisley, our first skier out in men's 7, electing to go with 2 ski tricking. All right, so here we go. We are into men's 7. Okay, so this is our next division for skiers aged 65 through to 69. This is men's 7, John Knisley, and going along very nicely with his surface turns, coming into this event with a seeding value of 190 points. You could probably tell why, as the tricks that he produces on his first pass consist entirely of 2 ski tricks. So the point values aren't going to be all that much for him, but we'll see what he can do with pass number 2. So we're into the next division now. This is men's 7. As I mentioned once more, 65 through to 69, the age range. And just holding that handle close in there, electing not to grip the handle to secure that towards the back, but he done enough to secure that trick without any further help with the second hand. But obviously, when you're doing surface 360s, you're going to need that second hand, which he did. So there we go. Wake front. Oh, very nice. He put a little bit of stank on that one. Nicely done. Edging all the way through the top of the wake. Here he comes in on pass number 2. He's nicely done with the side slide. He won't have too many more options from here so far as variety of tricks are concerned, but he goes outside the wake. He turns to the back in preparation for maybe a reverse wake front, although I don't think that trick would have been counted because the reverse has to be performed almost immediately after the initial trick if you choose to do a reverse. And as it was separated by passes, it certainly wouldn't have been counted. So there we go. That is John Knisley. So, next skier on the list, Dennis Weiser. All right, before we go on to Dennis Weiser, we'll let you look at these. This is the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships from Water's Edge in Wilmington.
Denali. No hype, just science.
All right, Dennis Weiser coming into the course right here, right now. Here he comes, 2 skis in, comes in with a seeding value of 190 points, exactly the same as John Knisley.
I wouldn't be making very many friends if they heard me call him women 17.
All right then, so here we go. This is Dennis Weiser. Come on, Dennis. Here we go. Look at him go. Goes for the 5 back. I think he was trying to do a 7. No, actually it was rather intentional. He did a 5 back on the first trick and did the reverse. And he says, that's okay.
luck. Good luck, Mo. Thank you. Hey, relax and ski. I know. You know where you're at. I know. And it wouldn't be right if you weren't.
All right there, so Dennis Weiser, our third skier out in men's 7. Here with the trick and jump coverage of the National Waterski Championships, the 79th edition of the Goode Waterski National Championships, right here from Water's Edge in Wilmington, right in the heart of Will County, Illinois. He's good. He was trying to go for a surface line front. Now, does he continue on? He's got to think on his feet here a little bit. There we go. Wake back. There's the wake front. I don't know how much of that wake he cased, but there it reverse wake back coming through. Boom. Reverse wake front, and he skis from dock to dock. Good skiing there from Dennis Weiser. Great skiing for the most part. So good skiing there from Dennis Weiser. We'll see in the fullness of time how many points that is total. His effort was exclusively on 2 skis, so probably not as many points as you would see from our skiers that elect to ski solely on 1. Obviously, the degree of difficulty of skiing on 1 is a heck of a lot more than skiing on 2. All right, that was Dennis Weiser. Now our next competitor out is going to be Bradley Boyd. Here comes Bradley Boyd. Here comes Bradley with a side. There you go. Side reverse. Doesn't matter if he performs them inside the wake or out, as long as they're on the surface and they turn a credit-worthy 90 degrees, then he's good to go. Coming into this event with a seeding value of 200 points, but just not looking particularly steady on that trick ski with that particular pass. I don't know whether he has anything more beyond those side slides or whether he's carrying an injury which is precluding him from doing any of the tricks that he would have liked. So there, folks, that was Bradley Boyd. We'll get ready for his second and final 20-second pass. Electing to go with the Mastercraft this time around, and we thank our boat vendors once again, Mastercraft, Correct Craft, and Malibu, for providing us with the boats necessary to pull these national championships in 2021. It looks like Bradley Boyd producing a carbon copy of the pass number 1. Does he go for the wrap back? Not quite getting the ski rotation. It has to rotate a full 180 degrees for it to be marked as credit worthy. And Bradley Boyd just didn't look particularly steady out there, if I'm being honest. So, and we're here at the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships. Goode is our title sponsor, and one of the latest innovations by Goode is their MK1 trick ski designed by Martin Coleman. Now, at its high echelon level, the trick ski is probably about 42 or 43 inches in length, but you can actually order that trick ski in lengths that are significantly longer than that. I mean, we're talking like 46 or 47 inches long with the width to match, and that has enabled quite a few of our trick skiers, especially in this age range, to effectively turn tricks at significantly slower boat speeds. And you can find out more by going to goode.com, goodeskis.com, to find out more. Right, next competitor up should be Robert Archambault.
And I don't care where you put the boat.
And before we go to him, let's check in on some of our great sponsors. All right, then. So we return to action. Robert Archambault is about to take to water, and I believe a previous MVP of the southern region of AWSA. Robert Archambault, oh, getting in a little bit deep there with that turn to the back, but managing to still stay on top of his skis, still perform, still throw some tricks in. That's Robert Archambault, or Bob as he's known to his friends. So good effort for the most part there for Bob Archambault.
Slippery slalom, better known as during practice and having fun.
So, tricking action on Lake 2 with the jump and tricking coverage, and a little bit of tricking on the slalom lake, courtesy of Trudy Ducine. Those of you that are watching our coverage on separate tabs on your computer, whether you're viewing using Chrome or Microsoft Edge or Mozilla Firefox or even Apple Safari, you are most certainly welcome. And there's Bob Archambault basically expending all the tricks that he had in his bag so far as one ski was concerned. So that's Bob Archambault. Certainly gaining in viewership, and we thank each and every one of you for tuning in, no matter where you happen to be in the world, whether you're viewing us from Australia, whether you're viewing us from Denmark or from Great Britain, or even among the many states that constitute the United States of America. All right, looks like we've got a dockside view, and we'll return right after this.
The events of last year have left us with a depleted inventory. Take a look around.
Where I'm standing, usually you'd see a jam-packed lot. And now?
For the past 30 years, the Darcy difference has been putting our customers' wants and needs first.
But this year, things are a little different.
That's right. We are focusing on our wants and needs for a change.
We want your vehicle.
We want your vehicle, regardless of make or model, even if it's a 1930 Chevy.
At Darcy, it's not usually about our wants and needs, but don't worry, you'll still experience the same Darcy difference you always have. Thank you. Please, come visit us today.
Pat's pulling the Archambault in. Tim's not here yet. He's here. Oh.
Yeah.
If you put his trailer, he knows to come. Yeah. This correct trap is going out, yes. Paul, hit it.
All right, then, here we go. Our next competitor on the water is Timothy Dwyer, who qualifies into the national championships with a shade under 640 points so far as his seeding total is concerned. Oh, going through these tricks very, very quickly, though, at the start of the run. And looking all right there, keeping the handle in very, very tight. Especially where it comes to the wake back-to-backs, that's especially critical. But by contrast, leaving the handle out just a little bit too far for the reverse wake back-to-back, and unfortunately going down hard. So, not looking bad. We're into our second tricking event, our second section of tricks. This is men's 7. We'll go to men's 8, and then we'll basically continue going up in the age divisions until we get to a stopping point at men's 11.
We're ahead of the game.
All right, then. It looks like we've got our flotilla there. Mastercraft will go next with Timothy Dwyer, actually. That's, I believe that's a Malibu there being held at dockside. My apologies there. Pat Combs about to go next behind the Malibu. And skiing behind the Mastercraft Pro Star is Timothy Dwyer. And he's taken a little bit of time to transition from one pass to the other. And while we do that, we'll return after this. All right, then we return with Timothy Dwyer on the tricking lake. We'll bring you the start of this run in momentarily via our instant replay. But here comes Timothy Dwyer with his second and final pass. Oh, nicely done with the 5 front there. And I think that expends all the tricks that he has in his bag that are non-repeatable. There we go. That is the toe back. And just trying to hold that toe foot as close as possible. Setting himself up, focusing with the surface toe front. And then back to the part that we saw in live action just a few moments prior. Pulling in on the line to wrap in. The other way to do it is to spin into the line, but not at that point yet, I don't think. Position to the back, 5 front. And nicely done. There you go. That is Timothy Dwyer. Let's get ready for our next competitor skiing behind the Malibu. It's going to be Pat Combs. And he's electing to go with 2 skis.
First class, just amazing to get together with everybody and campaign down in Archambault. Please respect that they invited us to their home for this national championship and they're highly crafted.
Oh my word, are you serious? All right then, here we go. This is Pat Combs. All right then, so here we go. Pat Combs with 2 ski tricks. Oh, look at this. With Pat Combs throwing in some wake tricks with some inverted starts there. But not a bad effort there from Pat Combs with the 2 skis, very much in control. You know, sometimes it's almost more difficult with some of the 2 ski tricks than it is with 1 because you've got basically two planes that you have to control, two planing surfaces that you have to keep under control. And one of the situations that arises a lot is when one skier gets the edge caught and throws you straight in. But with Pat Combs, with those 2 trick skis and with some high wrap bindings, that certainly mitigates a lot of what could happen in those situations. All right, looking inside the TWBC tent, we got Vince Stadelbauer on the 1s and 2s behind one of the controls, and Kelvin Kelm on the other set of controls inside the TWBC Master Control, which will after this competition be heading down south to Santa Rosa Beach for coverage of the IWWF U17 and U21 World Water Ski Championships. That will take place in about a week after the conclusion of the National Championships. But in between that, we'll have the Syndicate Hilltop Pro-Am. That will take place over at Hilltop Lake in Arlington in Washington State. And all of those events being brought to you exclusively live on TWBC. And after we get done with the U17, U21 Worlds, we'll have the Elite Worlds, the Malibu Open, the Mastercraft Pro, the Miami Pro-Am Slalom. We've got more than enough events to keep you entertained. Here we go. This is Pat Combs. Looking good. Little out the back there. Could handle up a little bit high, indicating that he's not quite all the way balanced on that trick ski. And that ultimately proves it there. Sliding in and unfortunately unable to ride that out. So, continuing with trick and jump coverage, looking at the instant replay of Pat Combs. Not looking too bad for the most part. We are at skier number 24 of our total competitors. Skier number 7 in this particular division, number men's 7. So we're actually not even halfway through men's 7. We've got 17 total competitors in this particular division where we see Pat Combs. Where skier number 8 is coming up next, and that's going to be Paul Martel. And now indicating to the boat that he is good to go on top of the water, and he is deciding to go with the correct craft, the Gold Flake Nautique. And certainly each of these skiers have a choice of what boat manufacturer they'd like to ski behind. They also have choice on boat speed, on line length, and they even have a choice as to who they want to ride in the passenger seat, overseeing what they do for safety purposes. So here we go. This now is Paul Martel. There we go, 180 to the back, a reverse 180 back to front. There we go, surface O's. Let's see what he's got. Nicely done. Now, here comes the wake back. Boom, hits that on 2 trick skis. Staying, oh my word. Getting good elevation, but that was about it. He just let the handle get away from him as he rotated to the front. And then he got a faceful there on that particular effort for Paul Martel. Whew. He's going to have, I wouldn't say a hard time recovering from that. But there you go, that's Paul Martel. All right, so as Paul Martel gets his skis on, he's going to actually get on the back of the boat to make that happen. I'm not too sure whether he is going to go on 2 skis or 1 ski for his return pass. Paul Martel comes into this event with a average of a little over 900 points. Here comes Paul Martel on our instant replay, presented by Zero Off, the world leader in speed control for tournament water skiing. But not looking too bad. Look at those surface turns. Just trying, not even pulling that all that much. It seems to have pretty good control there. Now, maybe that lack of pull didn't help him too much with the wake front. If it had pulled himself a little bit, the line wouldn't have become that much of an issue, and he might have ridden away and completed that pass. So, that's Paul Martel. He's getting ready for his return pass, and we'll return to action from him right after this. All right, rejoining the tricks event, we've got Paul Martel, and we don't see too much of him, I'm afraid, but here we are on the instant replay, electing to go with 1 ski tricks. And that was about it. He got the regular back and regular front, but the reverse back, not quite under control. But there you go. We got Earl Berkeley coming up next, and his points total was under 1,000 coming into this event. And here is our schedule on this coverage of the 79th Goode Waterski Nationals. We're in the midst of the men's tricking competition all the way up to men's 11, then women's 4 jump, and then men's 6 through to men's 11 in the jump event to round off coverage on this particular lake, which is lake number 2. All right, skier on the water, Earl Berkeley. Looking to go with the Mastercraft towboat. There we go, and he's looking pretty good with those shades on. Now, if he can stay up on top of the water, there's probably a better than average chance that he'll actually keep them. There we go. Looking good. Oh, and all over the show there with the wake back there, going from outside to in. Now surface O's. Let's see what he's got. Oh, whipping on that line. Very, very aggressive there. And will he attempt any more tricks? No. No more attempted tricks beyond that point. So let's see what he did. A couple of side slides, some rudimentary tricks. There's the 180 to the back and the reverse 180. You see he rotated the ski enough. He didn't rotate his body all the way all the way around. That's perfectly fine. The judges are only concerned about how much that trick ski is rotated. The body can do whatever it likes, but as long as the trick ski does the work, it gets the points. So there we go. That is Earl Berkeley. And for those of you that are tuning in using YouTube via the Waterski Broadcasting YouTube channel, or indeed the USA Waterski's YouTube channel, feel free to throw in some comments on this webcast player. There's already a steady stream of comments going on the slalom lake, but it's a little bit silent right now for our tricking folks that are watching. So throw in a comment or two if you don't mind. And we'll read off some of the best ones.
Mr. Greenwood. So what we have is this correct craft.
So next competitor to go should be Paul Armour, and he'll be skiing behind the correct craft. But what we're actually trying to do, and Gabe, who's on the dock, is does a fine job with that. He coordinates the skiers and gets them situated and ready to go.
Speed, ladder, 17.6. I'm sorry, it was on the paper. V2,
But we still got Earl Berkeley coming into the course.
Like the Mastercraft,
hey Mitch, have
that out there now is going to come to the dock and pick you up.
Got a second correct craft boat. Paul Armour will be skiing behind that. And here comes on two trick skis once again, Earl Berkeley. We are on skier number 9. We are exactly halfway through the men's 7 tricking event. Oh, this is some good stuff. Not exactly a thing of beauty, but unfortunately we won't know how much he had in store to come after those tricks, because he dropped the handle midway through a surface O. Went with one ski for his opening pass, which is rather unusual. Most skiers that ski on 2 and 1 ski for their respective passes go with the 2 skis first and then go on to 1, but electing to go with 2 skis on second. And actually on reflection and knowing what he scored on 1 ski, that was probably the best situation for him so far as scoring the most points. So that is Earl Berkeley. Our next competitor to go coming out of the state of Texas, it is going to be Paul Armour. All right then, folks, here comes Paul Armour. Now wrapping in for what we anticipate to be a Waco. It could either be that or a Wake 5 back. The only 2 wake tricks that you can actually perform from that wrap. He goes with the former rather than the latter. There we go, surface O's. Here comes the remaining surface tricks there with backs and front. Positions himself there for a 5 back on the surface to the front with some back-to-backs. There you go. All right, nicely done. He spent a lot of time tricking here, a lot of time practicing, because not only is he's about a mid-range contender so far as the men's 7 tricking competition is concerned, but he is focused in 100% on the overall competition. So looking to get off to a sprightly start, and then he can feel the pressure leave his shoulders a little bit with the slalom and the jump event. Now the slalom event will take place.
I'll push you out.
I believe, a little bit later on today so far as the men's 7 is concerned.
John, what would you like?
18.5 B2, please.
18.5 B2.
Oh, you've been training? Yeah.
Cameron, your battery's at like 20%, so be
That one done?
Yeah.
There's also...
Here you go.
Hang on. Hey, down.
So far as our schedule is concerned today, we do actually have men's 7 in the slalom event taking place a little bit later on.
Just wait till next time.
It'll actually take place tomorrow. So Paul Armour wanted to get off to a good start with the jumping event, and indeed right now with the tricking event. Now look at how close he's holding that toe foot. That is how you gain control over your trick ski, with toe tricks, but almost sliding out the back a little bit here. Here comes Paul Armour. He's continuing to roll with the handle tricks, going off the wake here. Did the majority of his tricks on pass number 1 on the surface, so these are unique tricks in this particular run. There we go. There's a 540 surface to the front. There you go. Slicks up his hair, heads towards the dock, getting off to the best possible start so far as the overall competition is concerned for him. So there we go. Not leaving too much on the table. But there you go. That is Paul Armour. Won't be among the podium skiers in the tricks event, but he has higher aspirations, including the jump event and indeed the overall. So that's what we got there. Next competitor to go, and the first of our competitors to exceed 1,300 points as an average coming into this event will be John Abell.
Are you ready for me? Whenever you're ready, just let me know.
And he is about ready to go, giving the signal to the towboat and electing to ski behind the Malibu TXI. This is going to be John Abell. Actually electing to go with the Mastercraft. Had a double check here. It says on his... says on the starting list that he elected to go in with a Malibu, but a little bit of a change here for John Abell, elected to go with a Mastercraft. He has been training a little bit at Bennett's Waterski and Wakeboard School in Zachary in Louisiana in the past week or so. And that facility uses Mastercraft exclusively. All right, so here we go. This now. This is John Abell on the Tricking Lake with trick and jump coverage. There you go. Here's John Abell going through his surface turns. Long-time skier from Texas. But, and going for the wake back-to-back, and unfortunately... casing the wake a little bit on his way out, so I don't know how many tricks that he had remaining. He gets off to a pretty sprightly start, but just couldn't really get his balance and everything situated with that last trick. The surface turns look smooth. Surface back-to-back, and then loading into the surface 5s. Then over the wake, and just left his left hip behind, just not committed himself fully to that rotation and in the water as a result. So whilst John Abell gets on the back of that Mastercraft, about to come back into the course, we'll take a quick breather, and then we'll return with the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships. All right, then. We have got John Abell approaching the course right here and now in men's 7 tricks. This is pass number 2. He's elected to go with toe tricks. We'll see how far he gets. John Abell is skier number 11 in men's 7. There we go to the back and toe front, toe side. Repeat at the toe side. There's the reverse, making sure that both of those are credit worthy. Toe wake back, toe wake front. Oh, just trying to stabilize himself. Does the foot come out? Yes, it does. Here comes the line back. Nails that one. Line front. Oh, and just overcooks it a little bit, and in the water he goes pretty hard. But that is John Abell.
Starting back with women's 7 slalom. Pass number 3, we're going into a headwind for Goode. This is still 28 miles per hour, 22 off. I missed something somewhere, I apologize for that. Here we go, Dawn.
But not looking too bad there, John Abell, as he works his way through the tricks. Nicely done for the most part, and just trying to control himself there with the line front, and unfortunately unsuccessful in that measure. So slalom coverage continues on our other play on Lake 1. We are in the midst of women's 7. Goode has just completed her run there. We are continuing on with men's 7 tricks. We've got Freddy Snell, who comes into this event tricking over 1,400 points on average.
You're jumping in this boat. Cammy. Yep. Because we only...
And elected to go behind the gold flaked correct craft, setting his speed up. The hat, the beard, the jacket, and the fist throw, even before he starts. Here we go. This is Freddy Snell. Boom. Working his way through these tricks in the men's 7 division. This division incorporates skiers age from 65 through to 69. Here we go. Freddy Snell, good rotation there, good surface turns. Does he go for the line back? Oh, yeah, and I think 20 seconds would have expired at that point. But there you go, that is Freddy Snell. His hat's a little bit more form-fitting now that it's a little wet. But that's not of much concern to him right now. Got some great skiing up to that point there with the weight tricks, and there. Some surface tricks thrown in for good measure. A surface O, reverse surface O. If you choose to do the reverse, then that reverse must come directly after the initial trick. So there you go. That is Freddy Snell. He has got one more pass of tricks to come. I would suspect that he would come into the next run with toe tricks. We'll see that in a moment.
Freddy in position. Proud to have played with Keith Richards at one time. And he is a former Tennessee State Trick champion. So we look forward to
should you take Social Security. We at Drake & Associates want to help. Visit us at wealthwisconsin.com for a list of upcoming classes or to schedule a complimentary consultation and learn how you could retire happy and...
All right then, so skier on the water is Freddy Snell getting ready for toe tricks. Nice. All right then, there we go. Toe back and toe front. keeping the flow going with the surface tricks. There's the surface 5, surface back-to-backs, all of these points totaling up. Oh, look at that. There's a surface 7 there thrown in for good measure. There's the reverse. Although had he have gotten that ski all the way round to the front, I don't think he would have counted, because the rotation of 720 degrees must be front to front and it must be continuous. So if there's a hitch in the middle, then that trick is gone. But here we go. Freddy Snell looking very, very tidy for the most part. The master of the Fu Manchu, and getting all the way through. Good effort. All right there. So there we go. That is Freddy Snell. We're down to our final 5 skiers in the men's 7 tricking event. Women's 7 still continues to run on the slalom lake. You can join that coverage on the slalom player. And certainly advisable for those of you that that just can't get enough water skiing, whether it be trick, slalom, or jump. You can open up separate tabs on your Chrome, Firefox, Apple Safari, or Microsoft Edge, and then you can tune in to each of our coverages on separate lakes at the same time. Brad Hartwell, who comes to us out of California, who has officiated events like this for many, many years in numerous capacities, whether it be scorer or judge or even announcer from time to time. Here is Brad Hartwell. Keeping the flow going there. There's the wake back. Here's the wake front. Boom. Hits that one well. Nicely done from inside the wake to out. Gets a good grip of that handle there with the line back and line front, and that should expend the tricks that he has at his disposal. All right, so 0 off, presenting us the replay coverage. Looking in very, very great shape. All right, so looking at Brad Hartwell. Once again, looking in very, very good shape, just trying to stay stable, not worried about the amount of time that he is taking, because he has the amount of tricks that he has. He can trick fairly slow and still get them all in. All right, so we're rejoining Brad Hartwell. He's getting ready for his second and final 20-second pass. Only 4 skiers remain after this. We got Robert Fulcher, then Paul Manning, then Alfred Zafernander, and then Bruce Kissler. Now, I'm not too sure what the current condition is of Paul Hutchins. He was our last skier to go scheduled in men's 6, and then he had a little bit of an accident, falling at the back of the boat and injuring himself a little bit there. I don't know whether he will ski out of order in men's 6, but we've had a whole bunch of incidences so far. Had skiers injuring themselves, falling off the back of the boat, and we've even had a rope on the prop incident with the slalom event. So a lot of the action you see on the water barely scratches the surface. Here we go. We've got the instant replay of Brad Hartwell taking a bit of a dive there towards the end. Well, actually, within the first third of his run. So Brad Hartwell, that's it there for him as we go on to our remaining 4 competitors. Robert Fulcher being the first of them, and he comes into this event with an average of a little over 1,600 points, and he'll be skiing behind the Nautique by Correct Craft.
Just, you got to remind me. I'll be up there.
All right then, folks. We have got on the water, we have got Robert Fulcher.
Go to waterskiresults.com. You can check them out and find out the scores as they come out.
Here comes Robert Fulcher. There we go. Wake back and wake front, getting these tricks done cleanly. Very conscious of keeping some air between the ski and the water, which is the prerequisite for wake tricks. No matter what the rotation is, there must be air between the ski and the water in its rotation. Here are the surface tricks. By contrast, the ski has got to maintain contact with the surface in order for them to be counted, no matter what rotation they are as well. But Robert Fulcher doing a grand job out there with pass number 1, and he's got another pass to come very, very soon.
Here we go. Charlene Brown, 28 off. Your current leader, women's 7 slalom. Getting pulled out a little bit after that second wake into 1 ball. Still able to get around 2. Narrowing to 3, but got around 3.
So not badly done. Good skiing there from Robert Fulcher. All right then, so this is Robert Fulcher going with toe tricks now, a little bit stiff-legged. He's got to try and bend his knees and ankles at the same time to maintain control over that ski. He's got the toe foot close to the standing foot, which is good. Now he's going to go through the step sequence. Now he's going to stay over his ski as he edges over the top. Try not to overcook it with the stepping leg. Foot in the back binding. Does he go for a surface turn? Well, he probably realizes that he's almost at the end of 20 seconds, so I think throwing something there would have been a moot point. But looking good for the most part with the toe tricks. But a good effort there from Robert Fulcher as he returns to the shoreline, meaning that we've got Paul Manning and Alfred Zafernander, and Bruce Kissler. All right, here we go. First skier up, and actually next skier up is Paul Manning.
Charlene Brown, your new leader in the women's 7 slalom. So that brings us to skier number 9 out of 13.
All right, here we go. Paul Manning, not bad at all with the opening pass, just trying to stay over his. Oh no! And he collapses with the line back on the outside of the wake. Now there are an increasing amount of skiers that would like to perform their surface tricks on the outside of the wake because it is smoother water. You're not terribly disturbed by what the rooster tail produces behind the boat. And that is evidenced a little bit with the toe wake trick. Now going to the outside the wake. Now gets this rotation okay, and then he just collapses, which is rather unusual. Just needs to put a little bit more shoulder pressure over the knee and ankle, and that would have helped him out a little bit more.
It was good. 18-5, Charlie 3, 25 again. However you want to do it. You want 25% balance? Correct. 10% on the gate. I'll give you a card.
Okay, so we've got Alfred Zafernander getting ready to ski. He'll be behind the Correct Craft, one of our Correct Craft boats, and we're waiting on Paul Manning to come back into the course.
And we also have some ones that are...
So working away through the tricking event, men's 7. Then we'll go on to men's 8, men's 9, men's 10, men's 11. Here we go. This is Paul Manning. Not looking bad for the most part on the second pass. Elected to go with toe tricks and steps for pass number 1. This is the easier one for him to produce, which will consist of pure hand spins. Wake back to back there in the middle. Oh, and goes for the surface. Oh, and just coming up a little bit short in that regard. So that is Paul Manning getting ready for our next competitor. Our penultimate competitor in men's 7 will be Alfred Zafernander, as we see once again Paul Manning go through his motions on our instant replay. But doing a grand enough job there, and just stomping those tricks from one end to the other. There we go. Well, falling off towards the end there. Now we're on to our next skier, Alfred Zafernander.
That's at 8:30, and then Friday into the final prelim.
All right then, so we're going to actually go on to D. Johnson. Now, D. Johnson's score coming into this event, he was actually scheduled to go on first, but because his total was 2,300 points, that would put him closer towards the top of the running order in men's 7, so that's why we slotted him in there. Here he goes, and that's D. Johnson completing his toe pass. So nicely done. Our third from last skier to compete in the men's 7. That's D. Johnson out of Canyon Lake in California.
Right now, heating up in this women's 7. Rochelle is on the water for warm-up pass number 1. She is at 30 miles per hour, 15 off.
So not looking too bad there, D. Johnson with the toe tricks, so keeping everything in control as slow as she does it. As we work our way towards the starting dock to see who's there. There's Gabe, who is directing things in and out of boats. Camera people, release people, drivers, all a part of that boat crew. That's Alfred Zafernander. He'll be tricking behind the second Correct Craft towboat. Here we go. Right now, this is D. Johnson there. 5 front to get things up and running. Surface back-to-backs, nicely done there. Beautifully executed. There's the wake back-to-back. Oh, handle up high. There we go. Reverse wake back-to-back and goes down, trying to make up for lost time. And that is D. Johnson. And we'll take a look at the instant replay, and then we'll go on to Alfred Zafernander.
you're up. You're up.
Is there another one of those weights?
Yep.
You and Mocha's up now.
Dennis, he's our new boss.
We have one boat, but
He's El Presidente.
Right. Yeah.
Stand up, Al. I hope so.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, now we're ready to roll. Yeah, I'm kicking my foot in right now.
You want to be the nice person, or you want me to? They got to start getting ready. No, I'm gonna get it for you. But I'm just saying, like, he waited for last minute. He knew who his boat driver was. Half an hour. There's that wait for.
Okay, this is Alfred Zafernander right now coming in on a pass. On pass number 1. Keeping the flow going from one end of the course. Oh, goes for the 5 front and almost went down on that one. 5 front reverse. Oh, and he is flirting with disaster right here. Goes with the Waco and there goes for the 5 back, and now he's really starting to motor ahead. 20 seconds should expire around about then, and there we go. That was a wake back-to-back attempt, and got the majority of his tricks done okay.
I'm going to go with it. If it's incorrect, it's going to be incorrect the rest of the ski ride for her. But Tony, how would you pronounce it? S-H-A-N-N. Shan or Sean? Sean?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with Sean. That's what I said originally. So, anyway, we'll just go Miss Mills. How's that? Pass number 2. This is going to be Yellow Loop, 28 off for her.
All right, taking a look at the tail end of Alfred Zafernander, and he's going to be picked up and brought into the course.
Heating up that slack, waiting for the exit gates. Sean Mills completes 28 off. There's 4 in there.
Thank you.
Top of your leaderboard, right around. She's got one.
He's down in Oakland, Florida, which will be the site for our 2023 National Championships. That's just been decided. We're looking at 2024 also. Actually, bids are open right now.
All right, then, setting the boat speed. One of the many options that the trick skiers can utilize is their own boat speed selection, line length, even a buddy to ride with them in the boat to ensure that everything is done safely, especially for stuff like toe tricks, like that toe 5 back, and there's the toe back-to-back. Alfred Zafernander from the state of Florida, therefore skiing in the Southern Region. Oh, there we go. A little straight-legged with the line tricks, but managing to get them situated okay. Oh, there we go. Wake line. Oh, straight hand to hand. And look at this. Wake line back to back. Does he do the reverse? Yes, he does. Doesn't quite ride that one out, but I tell you what, he is throwing down. comes into this event, unsurprisingly, with the second highest seeding total of 3,590 points, and you can see why. Alfred Zafernander. I'm not too sure whether he would complete that kind of point total because he fell towards the end. But I tell you what, he's certainly tripping the light fantastic out there. Wake line back-to-back. That was the last scoring trick that he produced. And there we go with the wake line back-to-back reverse. A little bit thrown towards the heel of the front foot there. And we're now down to Bruce Kissler. Men's 7 trekking coming to a conclusion with Bruce Kissler coming into this event with 3,620 points. Oh, he's going to go for the wake 5 front out of the extended wrap and goes for the wake O. And coming up a little bit short on that one, unfortunately, there for Bruce Kissler. So we'll take a look at the instant replay and wake 5 front out of the wrap. You would normally do a 7 back-to-back out of that, but casing the wake and coming up short on that particular move. So Bruce Kissler getting ready for his second and final 20-second pass, and we will return with that right after this. All right, then. So, returning back to action, we've got Bruce Kissler about to come into the course, falling on the second trick of the first pass. I can't imagine much of a way back from this instance, so let's see how far he can get with the toe tricks. He's going to start outside the wake for something like a toe wake O. Boom, hits the toe wake O. Now a little bit off balance as he goes to the toe wake back and toe wake front. He goes to the back and to the front on the surface, turns reverse toe back. Here he goes, surface back to back. Oh, and just was not his day today, unfortunately. So that represents the conclusion of men's 7 tricks. Bruce Kissler just not in the best of shapes out there, unfortunately, with the performance that you see out there on the water. Got a good portion of his toe tricks away, but just unfortunately just losing his concentration and balance towards the end there. So that concludes men's 7 tricks. We're going to go into men's 8 tricks momentarily. But you are watching the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships. We're going to go on to men's 8 tricks soon, and it'll be right after this. All right, back on to men's 8 tricks. This is Don Butcher out of the Midwest. Let's see what he's got. There we go, with some side slides either side. Comes into this event with a seeding value of 547 points. Ooh. That was all kinds of ugly there right from the start to that point. I mean, the side slides look pretty good, but the tricks beyond, and we're changing out constantly weights and drivers and release people and camera personnel. It's all going on dockside here at the 79th Goode Waterski National Championships with our trick and jump coverage on Lake 2.
Hold you at the boat or up the dock, and then go from there. Hey, Gabe. Yo. Maybe we should grab a weight if we did help it. Usually it kind of takes the boat
So, on dockside, getting ready for our next competitor, who should be James Hooker. We've got missions to go, give or take, in the tricks event so far as the men are concerned. Here we go. Here comes Don Butcher, falling about a third the way through his pass number 1. Now looking to try and recover from that and continue to trick where he left off. And unfortunately not controlling that Don Butcher. We're going to go to James Hooker, who is next to go behind one of the Nautique towboats. As we move further into the latter age divisions, the amount of skiers does kind of reduce in number. Although I do have to say that in men's 9 we have a good slew of skiers there. That's the next division after the one that we've got right now, and then we'll go on to men's 10 and then men's tournament, which will take place on Friday evening. You'll hear more details of that as we continue along. All right, we have got James Hooker now, setting up his ride behind the correct craft at the end, and I think he'll be satisfied with that effort on pass number 1 of 2.
5 at 32 off. But warm up pass number 1, 22 off, feeling the wind.
But not bad for the most part there for a skier on the water. That is James Hooker. So plenty of action going on both lakes. We've got, women's 7 slalom. We're into the top seed of women's 7 slalom. If you want to tune into to that coverage, you can do so whilst also watching the other lake coverage concerning tricks and jump. Open up a couple of tabs and enjoy some skiing from both lakes, whether you're working with Mozilla Firefox or Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome or Apple Safari. If your browser is capable of having numerous tabs open at the same time, then you can switch from lake to lake. All right, crossing over into our VIP tent before we switch on over to see James Hooker come into the course with his second and final 22nd pass. There he is. And there is the opening trick. It's a positional. There we go, wake back and wake front. Slow as she goes there with the reverse wake back, and just a little bit short there, unfortunately. But decent effort nonetheless.
Most of the other women have had, so it's fair. Oh, she's getting on the back of the ski around 3 ball. Very unexpected early fall.
So continuing to roll right along, we go on from one page to the next. From James Hooker, we go to Keith Morgan. All right, here we go. Keith Morgan now, setting the boat speed. Looks like he's got a relatively short line, which will steepen up the wakes a little bit. It will make the surface inside the wakes a little bit more of an issue to control. Looking like he's right on top of the rooster tail, and certainly looks like he's beefed up the wakes a little bit with some additional ballast, which our competitors have the option to have in each of our boats. That's Keith Morgan. Handle not quite far enough down to effectively turn these tricks efficiently enough, but the Surface 360s didn't look too bad, but just lent up on the line and for his 540-degree spin and not quite coming out the right side. So we've got Keith Morgan, and we'll have the second and final 20-second pass momentarily. All right, then. So we've got Keith Morgan coming back into the course, hoping to recover a little bit after his fall about a third the way into the pass. Now with surface back-to-backs, not looking bad at all for the most part. Oh, look at this. Whoa, look at this. Getting a little bit out of control, just trying to hold that handle closer to him. This is essentially a repeat of pass number 1, but there you go. 20 seconds will have expired around about that time. Having a look at this instant replay. Just working his way from one end of the tricking course to the other, and just trying to keep his maintain his body position on the ski to turn efficiently. It's certainly a better pass than pass number 1, I can tell you.
Pull over here, and then you'll be getting the boat.
So there we go. That is That is Keith Morgan. Now, Joe Blair is our next competitor to take to water. Here comes Joe Blair. This is our third from last skier to take to water in men's 8. Here is Joe Blair going through his surface turns. Oh, and going down hard on that wake back-to-back attempt. We'll see if he's okay, but we'll look at the positional back and as he goes in for his surface turns before he gets ramped up towards the wake. This is men's 8, the age bracket of skiers between 70 and 74 years of age in men's 8.
I'm going to push you off.
We'll
on deck.
just saw Joe Blair go through his effort, and we'll return to live action in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Alice Bagnoli. I'm from Milan, Italy. I'm 21 years old. I switched to Goode when I was 13 years old. In the past, I used to ski. My skiing was very unstable, was very inconsistent, and once I switched to Goode, it became very stable. I was much more confident in my skiing, and I started winning more medals. Every new ski is much better than the previous one, and I know that if something would happen to my ski, I would switch back to another Goode, and it would still be the best.
When I walk into the room, wind blows underneath the soles of my brand new pair of shoes. I got the attention, I'm on a mission, no sweat in the way I step.
Hi, my name is Thomas De Gasperi. I am from Trento, Italy. That's where I was born and raised. I'm here now in Orlando, Florida, where I spend my winters, doing a little bit of ski school, a little bit of training. I joined the Team Goode in 2004, and I remember calling up Dave and asking to try a new ski, and because I was kind of like looking for a new ski, and he sent me one, and since then it's been a good relationship with him, a good relationship with the company, and I'm still riding it today, and I still feel like it's the best choice for me.
All right then, so continuing on with men's 8 trick, this is Joe Blair. Setting himself up with toe tricks. Let's see what he's got. Toe back and toe front, keeping, whoa, it almost had complete control over that turn, but unfortunately falling out towards the back. It's a pretty common fall. Oh, and grabbed the back of his leg and then tried to go for the handle, and then neither one was helping him out all that much. So that was Joe Blair. As we continue to go on to our penultimate skier in men's 8 tricks, it'll be David Keller.
Hold up a little narrow to 2, but then she was able to maintain it and keep her composure from that point on to be able to complete this 28 off pass, knowing that she's got another competitor on the dock, wanting to better whatever score she puts out here to take home this 4th place medal in women's 7th slalom. Janie Fossil running 28 off.
All right, approaching the course now. This is David Keller, who comes into this competition tricking over 2,000 points on average. And electing to go with the correct craft Nautique and going in with a wrap for what could be a Waco. It is certainly a Waco. He elected to go with that high point scoring trick first. But not looking too bad for the most part on this this particular effort. Slow as she goes, and very, very deliberate, and that extended all the way through to the Wake 5 front, which he attempted and came up a little bit short on. Just keeping the handle nice and close for a good portion of this run. Wake back and wake front. A little bit of height there and a little bit of an additional height there off the tricks. Still scores the same points, mind you. And there we go. Tries the 5 front and comes up, stretching out towards the rope. I'm Tony Lightfoot, announcing for tricking and the jumping events. He is Troy Zollner with the slalom coverage of the event, and you can flick back from one to the other if you open up the players in separate tabs, whether it be Chrome or Firefox or Edge.